Hello and welcome to this episode of How to Be an Icon. I'm Jared Jones and I'm joined, as always, by Donna Cameron. How are you doing today?
It's lovely today, isn't it?
It's a very nice day today. We're talking about movie coming out in the next couple of months.
They just won't stop making them.
They just keep making them. We're talking about Toy Story, specifically sort of the start of Pixar and the first feature-length film that they made, which is Toy Story, as we know.
Which is kind of groundbreaking, but I'm sure we'll get into it.
We sure will. What are your opinions on Toy Story? What do you...
Oh, the first one. So I'm not super familiar with any the third onwards.
Yeah.
So the first and second one, I've seen a bunch, and they're incredible. They're really good films. Obviously, the first one is like the first feature-length digitally animated film or something like that.
We'll get into that.
I was going to say, I like the little song.
We'll get into a little bit of that as well, of why there are songs. Mainly in the first one. There is only one musical bit in the second one, and then
and it's the saddest thing in the world.
And then none in the third, but we will get into why that is.
Interesting.
I love Toy Story. It's one of my favorite films of all time. And when I was a kid, the first time I ever went to America, back then, flying on a plane, very exciting because you'd have films on the plane. And you'd have a TV screen in front of you.
Whoa.
Oh my God, that's insane. But obviously back then, you couldn't choose what you watched. It wasn't like, because now you go on, you press.
You got like a 100 options. You don't want to watch any of them, so you watch Mamma Mia.
Yeah, you just click whichever one you want to watch. Back then, you couldn't do that. You had essentially 10 channels.
Yes.
And the films would all start at the same time.
And they would loop.
So you might want to watch Mamma Mia. So you'd have to watch that first section. But then if you missed it the first time, don't worry, it'll be back again. Now, I always found it weird because there'd also be TV programs. And so it was like if you noped out of like season 4, episode 3 of Peep Show, you'd still have to wait another 45 minutes to the next film that you wanted to actually watch.
Or you have to watch the last 37 minutes of Gangs of New York.
Yeah. But when I was a kid, I watched Toy Story. It was one of the films that was on there. And I watched it, no joke, like 4 or 5 times just back to back.
Oh.
Because I loved it so much. I just watched it over and over and over again.
It's a fantastic film.
And yeah, it's one of my absolute all-time favorite films.
You have a lot of Toy Story toys.
I have a lot of the Toy Story toys. I do have an original Buzz Lightyear. He's seen better days.
Duff Dups is not fair. He's just a bit like the wrong color.
He's gone a bit the wrong color. His wing doesn't quite pop out anymore. He does still work. His buttons still work. I should probably take the batteries out of him, but it's been too long for that now. Like,
oh God, no, they're fused in. They're toxic.
Yeah, if they're fused in and toxic, that's how it's going to be. But yeah, so our story actually starts with the beginning of Pixar. But before getting to the Pixar and Toy Story, we have to go back to another film franchise that went on for too long and has too many entries in it, which is Star Wars.
Okay.
So for the special effects in Star Wars, director George Lucas set up a division of Lucasfilms to help develop the special effects for Star Wars, and it's called Industrial Light and Magic.
Oh, okay.
And they help develop special effects for literally all of your favorite movies, including Indiana Jones, Terminator 2, Death Becomes Her, E.T., Back to the Future, Labyrinth, Jurassic Park, Mission Impossible, Harry Potter series, Pirates of the Caribbean series, the Transformers series, the Avengers and Marvel series, and the Batman. Basically, any blockbuster that's been made over the past 40 years with any form of special effect.
Yeah.
And in some movies that you wouldn't even expect, Industrial Light and Magic are the people that helped develop it.
That's a wild list.
So, back in 1974, the New York Institute of Technology's founder, Alexander Shrew, established a company called the Computer Graphics Lab with the goal of creating the first computer animated film. Shrew already had his own animation company already, so this wasn't just like a thing that he sort of thought bomb.
He didn't just show up one
He
day
didn't
like,
just show up one
I've
day.
got an idea.
Yeah, they're like, you're crazy, Alex. What are you doing?
You have to check. It's the 70s and it's New York.
It's a very good point. Like, you know, that absolutely could be the case.
That you just show up and go, I'm going to make a feature-length digital film.
I'm going to do it on this computer.
Sorry, this is a Wendy's?
So they sort of like started pioneering into that direction. And the company was introduced to George Lucas by famous film director Francis Ford Coppola, who, of course, envisioned the future in everyone's favorite movie, Megalopolis.
A film Jared's not seen. I have seen it. He's not seen it. He's only heard me talk about it, but you are very excited
I'm
about
very
it.
excited for Megalopolis and Megalopolite. But Francis Ford Coppola introduced them to Lucas, not with a dream of animated, the fully animated film.
Uh-huh.
They weren't that interested in that. But because of the concept of editing a full movie using a computer. Because obviously up until this point, you edited film by using a razor blade and physically cutting into the film reel. And this was quite a controversial idea of being able to edit on a computer.
Because we're getting rid of the job of editors.
Yeah, people were very, very skeptical that you could even do it.
Yeah.
Which is like, again, one of those things where you're like, okay, fair enough.
Now you can press a button on your computer and it will just edit it for you.
Yes. In 1979, the Computer Graphics Labs would join Lucasfilms to develop several pioneering technologies, including REYES, which stands for Renders Everything You Ever Saw.
Okay, what Muppet Lab shenanigans is this? Renders everything you've ever saw.
Yeah. But this is considered to be an early version of the program that would go on later to be known as RenderMan, which is very
Not to be confused with
the
Slenderman.
Or the B-list superhero, RenderMan. And his sidekick, Polygon Kid.
Here to help you see things in higher definition.
In 3 dimensions.
Whoa!
But yeah, RenderMan was a very important computer animation program that we first used in 1988. In 1983, the Computer Graphics Lab would hire John Lasseter, who had been fired from Disney after pushing to make a hybrid film with a mix of 2D and 3D animation. He was let go by our favorite CTE-ridden CEO at the time, Ron Miller.
Yay!
Walt Disney's son-in-law. And if you want to find out more about Ron, you should listen to our episode on Michael Eisner. I would recommend as well listening to our episode on Michael Eisner because a lot of this is going to be a lot of crossover with that. But yeah, Ron Miller was like, you're crazy. 3D, 2D?
I can't be dealing with it. And you go, that's because your brain's damaged.
What do you think this is? A RenderMan comic? Get out of here.
Also listen to our episode on Walt Disney because he's a weird guy.
He is. I mean, it's, this is all very Disney adjacent. So,
I mean, it is the Disney.
Yeah, it's Disney Pixar, but not currently Disney Pixar.
Oh.
But Lasseter was determined to make a fully 3D animated film, and he would work on an animated short for Lucasfilms, which was called The Adventures of Andre and Wally B. The CGL had also come in to do prototype graphics for Star Wars, coming up with some of the flight sequences. Because obviously what they used to do back then was film miniatures and then composite them together. And they were like, oh, I think we can probably get some like 3D renders and graphics in there. But it didn't quite look right. Everything had a very smooth edge. And George Lucas was like, it doesn't look very realistic.
Compared to those crazy detailed models they used to be able to do. Or still can, but choose not to.
Yeah, we saw some of those miniatures when we went to the Institute of Moving Images in New York. They had some of the ones from it was Blade Runner, wasn't it?
Yes, it was, and they are absolutely tiny and they are so detailed that it kind of blows your mind. If you're in New York, you can go there for free.
Yeah, miniatures, they're fun because they're both bigger and smaller than you think they are. It's just like a really weird thing to think about, but yeah, no, they had some of them on there and they were really, really cool. The name of the company changed after they developed the Picture Maker computer.
Whoa.
But they said it needed a catchier name, so they named the computer Pixar, which would then go on to be the name of the company. So in 1983, George Lucas got divorced, which...
and he never stopped going on about it.
Which suddenly meant he needed to find money from somewhere because divorces are expensive. So Lucas decided that he was going to sell Pixar as a hardware company rather than as a movie production company or special effects company. Mm-hmm. He was like, we're going to sell this as a piece of hardware for 3D rendering software. And Pixar was very nearly sold to General Motors.
Whoa!
And they would have used it to make 3D models of their vehicles. But GM pulled out at the very last moment, and Pixar was sold to Next, not the British high street retailer.
Oh, I was really scared then for a moment. But a nice, like, sensible work top.
Yeah, that's where you go. You go to Next for that. No, it was Steve Jobs' company that he formed after he left Apple. So Jobs also bought Pixar as a hardware company with the idea of selling the 3D images computers, similar to what they were going to do for GM, like selling it to them, but like for other sort of companies like that. But did see potential in the 3D animation space. So in 1986, Pixar sold one of its computers to Disney, who used the Pixar machine to animate in 2D The Rescuers Down Under, which is the first fully computer animated feature film.
Whoa! Yeah. And sadder than you think it is.
And it used the Computer Animation Production System, or CAPS, as it's known. So yeah, it was animating in 2D, but it was doing a lot of the like in-between like tweening frames and things
digitally.
Like that. Digitally, which was one of the first time that had ever been done. They'd experimented with other shots in films, but The Rescuers was the first, or The Rescuers Down Under, I should say, was the first fully computer animated film.
That's very surprising. That's a great trivia fact.
There you go. Also in 1986, John Lasseter created the animated short Luxo Jr., which is a story of two lamps, a father lamp and a son lamp, who play with a ball, and the son jumps on the ball and it deflates. It would become the mascot of Pixar as the lamp that jumps on the eye in the Pixar logo.
You know
that
you can meet it sometimes.
You know the lamp. Do you know where the inspiration came from?
No, I don't.
It was a Luxo lamp that was on Lasseter's desk, and he made a film about it.
Amazing.
Yeah. The short was nominated for an Oscar, but lost out to A Greek Tragedy, a Belgium animated short written about three ladies holding a statue remains of an ancient building. Sounds riveting.
You know, it's a short animated film at the time. We didn't have that many.
No, we didn't really have that many.
But didn't like Cocomelon get nominated for an Oscar at some point or something?
That sounds right.
Here's the fun thing, actually. You can just say with enough derision that something got nominated for an Oscar, because no one's ever going to check it.
And then you go, the Academy don't know anything.
Oh, Norbit won Best Film.
It didn't.
It didn't win any Oscars. Don't know why you're so mad about it.
But yeah, you can just say any film, be like, they don't know. The Academy, they don't know. They're not like us. Us regular people. However, in 1988, Lasseter stopped complaining about the Oscars because he ended up winning one for Best Short with the movie Tin Toy, which would feature the character Tinny being chased around by a giant baby. I mean, it was a regular-sized baby, but it looked like a giant baby.
Perspective.
Yeah. So Pixar released several short films during this time to show off the power of the Pixar machine and its capabilities. But the company was losing a significant amount of money because no one was buying these computers because they go, yeah, it's cool, but what are
we going to use it for?
What are we going to use it for?
Short films don't make money.
Short films don't make money. And it's like the thought of making a fully 3D animated film rendered on a computer is like, nah, that's just not going to happen kind of thing.
Yeah.
They did have like big innovations of like making like cool like particle effects and things like that. But again, it didn't really mean much to anyone. Jobs was getting very frustrated with Pixar losing so much money because he had invested so much of his own personal money into keeping the company afloat.
And he's really counting beans. He's like, we're going to have to start getting like the home brand version of things. Like, nah, you got to use that tea bag twice. He's really like crunching the numbers. Steve Jobs was really struggling for money.
He sure was. But
No. You only get one biscuit.
But he really contemplated selling the company, with the potential buyers being Microsoft, which makes sense. Oracle, which is owned by Larry Ellison, whose son David Ellison,
yes, okay.
has recently purchased Warner Brothers, and Hallmark Cards.
Why Hallmark?
We're gonna be the potential people to buy. I guess because of the 3D rendering capabilities,
they could 3D render gift cards.
Yeah, I think
not even Hallmark films.
No.
That's interesting.
Again, because the idea of Pixar being a film production company
wasn't quite there.
Yeah, it wasn't there. They were sort of a hardware technology company. The films were kind of almost a little bit of a like silly little thing that you can go do. Like,
it also does this.
Yeah, it does this. Yeah, rather than it being the core of the business, it was more of just like a sort of side bit that they were sort of doing, kind of because. But Jobs figured that if companies were willing to pay up to $80 million for this company, then it must be worth something.
Yeah.
People were interested in buying it. So they needed something to keep the company going, and they ended up signing a 3-picture deal with Disney. Disney had obviously used the computer and the technology for helping animate their films. So they were like, sure, why not? They weren't like expecting much from it. And the deal wasn't exactly great for Pixar, as they wouldn't be able to keep any of the rights to the characters, merchandising, and only 12% of the box office gross.
Ooh, which for the amount of work is not the...
Yeah. Pixar suggested making a 30-minute TV special to run as a test for the technology, but Jeffrey Katzenberg made the point of like, well, you're going to need the same amount of people to make a 30-minute thing as you are a 90-minute thing, so you may as well just make a 90-minute movie, feature length, rather than what's no point in half measures on that one.
That's not an unreasonable statement, I think.
Yeah. So Pixar began work on its first feature film, Toy Story.
Ooh.
So the original script for Toy Story saw Tinny return from the Tin Toy shorts and pairing him up with a ventriloquist dummy who would get sold to a collector, and the two would be kept in a display case. However, they would escape to go to a daycare, which is considered by toys to be like heaven because they get played with forever. Now, this may sound like the first 3 films being stuck together.
Yes.
And that's kind of because it was. They ended up passing these ideas off
over time
and coming back to them for the sequels. So that was the main thing of it. But yeah, that was going to be all 3 movies.
Wow, that's quite a lot.
Yeah.
And you lose a lot of character development, I think.
Yeah. So that was one of the problems that they had. Laster, who was the director of the movie, figured that Tin Toy wouldn't be kind of relatable for kids at this point. Like a tin little thing is not.
Yeah, people aren't playing with like little tin boats and.
Yeah, so it was sort of a bit like, And Jeffrey Katzenberg said that there wasn't much conflict between the characters at this point, and that Laster should go make more of a buddy cop / team up movie.
It lacks jeopardy.
And told him to go watch the movie 48 Hours from 1982 and Thelma and Louise from 1991 to get a bit of an idea. So the script was reworked to have Tinny be changed to a space toy called Luna Larry.
We're getting there. Luna Larry's a bad name.
Luna Larry is a bad name.
Luna Larry sounds like the name of a guy that you avoid.
Yeah. And the ventriloquist dummy would be changed to a cowboy dummy named Woody.
Okay, there we go.
He was still a ventriloquist dummy, and he was kind of an asshole. Like, it was...
Woody is still kind of an asshole.
But, like, kind of more of an asshole. So... the idea was that he was going to push Larry out the window rather than it being an accident, like it is in the final product, and remarked that he deserved it, being like, "Yeah, that's what you get.
That's what you get.
Oh, learn to fly, spaceman.
See you, space cowboy."
Yeah. So Pixar kept showing the footage to Disney, who were impressed with the technology on display. They said it looked great, but not by the script. They weren't really loving it. Katzenberg said that he wanted it to be more edgy and focused on both adults and children. So they'd put kind of more adult references in, but it really just didn't jive together. You know,
we talk about this quite a lot just in our lives. Kids' films with adult humor is incredibly hard to do. There's a very fine line of just making a joke that is inappropriate and children go, huh? To actually making a joke that
both a child and an adult will understand.
Will laugh at, yeah.
And when it's like on multiple layers, sometimes it's difficult. Also, Disney at this point were having a huge success with the Disney Renaissance, which were all musicals, or mostly musicals. So The Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast. Yeah. So Katzenberg wanted Toy Story to be a musical, which Pixar just completely refused. They were like, we're not doing that.
And the thought of any of those characters singing is a bit weird.
They said it would break the immersion of the film, and I think it absolutely would.
You already have too many layers of suspense.
Yes.
Like disbelief to suspend.
Yeah. And it's, the movie it plays it in quite a straight way.
Yeah.
And it does work for it, but I think that would be a bridge too far, I think. On Friday, the 19th of December, 1993, Disney executives ordered the immediate halting of the movie's production to rework the movie. The Black Friday incident, as it would later be dubbed, was a huge turning point for the movie because it was quite far into production at this point. Like we're quite deep into it, and we're going to have to scrap the whole thing and start again, kind of thing. But Laster noted it was a story filled with the most unhappy, mean characters that you've ever seen. And it wasn't the movie that he wanted to make. It was Jeffrey Katzenberg's movie. That was what it ended up being. Even Tom Hanks said about Woody, saying, this guy's a real jerk.
Oh, and like, Woody's complex, but he's not an asshole.
He's not an asshole. So the script rewrites took around 3 months, and they had to get some extra writers to come in, including Joss Whedon.
Oh, no.
We'll get onto Joss Whedon in just a sec, because unfortunately it really is the meme of terrible news. The worst person just made a really great point.
You mentioned this as we were preparing earlier for the show, and I could not, for the life of me, think of who this was going to be. Of course, it was Joss Whedon.
And Donna's always hated Joss Whedon, even before he was announced to be a wrong-un.
I think he's literally the worst thing about screenwriting. Continue.
Again, it'll be an interesting one to see what you think about this.
I'm going to be so upset.
So the first thing they did was change Woody's character from like a jerk who, was bullying people and pushing them out of windows to a solid leader who would look after all the other toys and keep them in check, making him more good-natured but slightly neurotic, as opposed to a manipulative, dead ventriloquist dummy.
Which is fair.
Yeah. Larry, who had now been changed his name to Buzz Lightyear.
Way better name.
Yeah, inspired by the second man on the moon, Buzz Aldrin, was changed from a dim-witted but well-meaning, self-aware toy to a toy who wasn't aware that he was a toy, and, that was the whole arc of the movie. He didn't know that he was a toy. And that was Joss Whedon's idea, which I think is the thing that makes the movie work.
That's so upsetting, because that's a really good character arc for that, and it's kind of what makes it work. Because otherwise, without it, Woody is too aggressive. You can understand why Woody gets frustrated. Yeah. Because he's almost getting stonewalled by someone who does not know that they're stonewalling someone.
Yeah. He genuinely believes that he's a spaceman, yeah. No, Whedon said that the script had a really solid structure, but the pieces in between weren't quite there. And I have to agree. I think that's one of the other things as well. And again, you're going to be annoyed by this because it's a Joss Whedon line, and you go, oh, but it is good. The original line for "That's not flying, it's falling with style" was originally "We're flying, Buzz," and originally the line was, "Technically, that's correct," but they changed it to "We're falling with."
I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, no, "We're falling with style." That's a Joss Whedon line.
I should clarify what I mean by me thinking that Joss Whedon's the worst thing to happen to script writing. He is just the reason...
Oh, the quippy...
You can't watch a thing without someone going, It's the same, like, every person in the room has to say a thing, and you've got to have a line, and it's all got to be, like, witty and snappy, and... I cannot stand it. It drives me up the wall, and it's in other things that don't even have the charm of his work. Arguably, I don't think it's charming, but anyway.
But yeah, no, I don't disagree with you. However,
he's right sometimes. A broken clock is right twice a day.
Another one of the things that Whedon suggested, which I think is just kind of a fun one, really. He changed one of the settings in the movie, which was originally going to be Pizza Putt, which was a restaurant and mini golf course. But of course, he changed it to Pizza Planet, a space-themed arcade and pizza restaurant. He also came up with the concept of the green aliens with the 3 eyes.
The aliens are really good. And Pizza Planet is fun because it implies that cowboys aren't popular anymore.
Yes, that's it. Again, it's a very smart piece of business that you go,
yeah,
God damn. The problem with those green-eyed aliens is all I ever think about is Logan Paul.
Oh, yes, of course.
And then all I ever think about is Dominic Mysterio talking to Logan Paul. For those of you who don't know, editor, please put in the clip of...
Can you go?
Bro, Dom, what do you think this... Yes, I can go to Japan.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
No, I can go to Japan.
I didn't know if you were like, shadow banned or something.
Excommunicado.
Yeah, excommunicado.
Come on, excommunicado. No, I'm not excommunicado.
Dude, I didn't know if you were put on a list or something.
Dude,
like,
he is. Be a real heel there.
I mean, we get invited. Oh, yeah, you would. Dude, especially if you show up with the hat.
Bro, stop, Dom. Stop. That was too far. That was actually too far, bro.
Are you, like, shadow banned? Oh, you gotta go to Japan. Oh, with the hat? You'd be a heel in Japan.
I've been to Japan.
I've been to Japan.
My favorite thing of those little green aliens are if you go to Tokyo Disneyland, the little like mochis that are shaped like them are delicious. And they're about £3. They're very reasonable.
So while the movie was not a musical, they did come up with a compromise with Katzenberg and Disney, was that the movie would feature non-diegetic musical sequences written and performed by Randy Newman.
Non-diegetic. Everyone.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Year 1 media studies. Jared Jones. He's going for a first.
Woody was originally offered to Robin Williams, and he turned it down. He was a bit on the outs with Disney at this point in time due to how the movie Aladdin was handled. The TLDR on that is that he was like, I'll do Aladdin, but I don't want to be plastered front and center on the poster and the marketing. That's not what I want.
And then he was.
And he was very upset by it. Also offered for Woody, Clint Eastwood.
Oh, different film.
Damn, Buzz. We're falling with style.
Oh, I'm kind of disappointed that it's not Clint Eastwood because...
But no, Lasseter wanted Tom Hanks and convinced him by showing him footage of Woody's character using the dialogue from Turner and Hooch.
Yes, which makes sense.
Yeah. The first choice for Buzz was Billy Crystal, who turned down the role. Similar to Hanks, he was shown footage of Buzz doing the monologue from when Harry met Sally.
Or the one where she comes.
I don't know.
Well, when they're in Katz's Deli.
No, I think it's the one at the end where he's telling her about how much
yeah,
he loves
I know.
her,
But just the thought of Buzz being like, I'll have what she's having.
Yes. But Crystal thought the movie would be unsuccessful due to the animation, and he would later go on to say that it was his biggest career mistake and biggest regret. But Crystal would, however, voice Mike Wazowski in Monsters, Inc. in 2001, so he made up for it in the end.
I would argue he's phoning it in, but many people would disagree with me.
Wild list of people who were considered for Buzz, though.
Okay.
Including Bill Murray, Chevy Chase, Jim Carrey, Jason Alexander, Dan Aykroyd,
Whoa!
Matthew Broderick, Kevin Costner, Michael J. Fox, Richard Gere, David Hasselhoff, Michael Keaton, Wayne Knight, Bill Paxton, Dennis Quaid, Kurt Russell, Adam Sandler, and John Travolta.
I want it to be Dan Aykroyd.
You don't want it to be Travolta?
I'm a spaceman.
But yeah, if you were an actor in the mid-90s, you were really considered...
The only person that's not on that list is Tom Cruise.
Oh, that's a very good point, yeah. Tom Cruise seems like a sort of person who
him and Hugh Grant. Like any British actors out, because you can't... There's no such thing as a British cowboy.
They ended up going with Tim Allen, who was working for Disney at the time.
Oh?
Yeah, that's the one. Working for Disney at the time on the successful ABC comedy Home Improvement. Other actors that were considered for the roles of Rex and Slinky were Rick Moranis for Rex and John Cleese for Slinky.
Oh, interesting. John Cleese does do a lot of voice work, doesn't he?
He does. Very different.
Yeah.
They ended up going with Wallace Shawn, absolute goat, and Jim Varney, R.I.P. You know,
I know.
is but yeah, a very different, like that southern slinky dog being played by John Cleese.
It's very odd. He'd have a very different energy.
Very, very different energy.
Out of the cast of like, other than Woody and Buzz, who is your favorite toy?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Because I really like Rex.
Rex is a great.
I like that this T-Rex has anxiety.
Don, I'm gonna really upset you.
Go on.
That's a Joss Whedon edition.
No.
I'm sorry.
No.
He is great though. Rex is fantastic.
I also like the legs with a fishing hook that's in like Sid's room. All of those guys are pretty fun.
I think that I enjoy the potato heads.
They are good. We have one that we put out at Christmas.
We do have a Christmas potato head. Speaking of Sid's room, in one of the things in there is that they have a toy getting blown up, which they label as a Combat Carl.
Yes.
That was originally supposed to be a G.I. Joe.
Of course. And
However,
they were like, no,
yes,
we're not letting you.
Mattel were not happy with...
blowing up their IP.
Yes. Also, Bo Peep was originally supposed to be a Barbie doll, but Mattel rejected them because, this is an interesting fact, Barbie at that point didn't have a voice.
Oh, of course she didn't, did she?
And Barbie, they wanted it to be that
they decided to...
the young girl playing with it would be the person who would decide what Barbie sounded like, and they didn't want to have a definitive voice for Barbie. So,
oh, that's very sweet.
So-
And then I guess in later ones they did.
yes, mostly because they go, well, this is a pretty good merchandising opportunity, and yeah, so
That's one of my favorite like credit ones with Barbie going bye 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 bye. My face hurts.
I love Toy Story 2. I don't know whether I prefer 1 or 2. Anyway, that's not important right now.
They're both great.
They're both great. They're both incredible movies. Both 5-star. That's what I'd say on that one. The film was really coming together, and Steve Jobs kind of became obsessed with the movie. He would have regular viewing parties and showed his friends his movie's progress throughout the production, being like, guys, look at this. Look, there's a fish with legs. It's a spider with a baby's head.
This kid's weird. And you're like, yeah, it's the only weird kid, isn't it, Steve?
Look, Buzz is having a mental breakdown. He's at a tea party. I am Mrs. Nesbit. But the deal that Pixar had signed with Disney wasn't great. So they kind of needed it to be a mega hit. Jobs explained, if Toy Story is a modest hit, say 75 million at the box office, we'll, meaning Pixar and Disney, both break even. If it gets 100 million, we'll both make money. But if it's a real blockbuster and earns 200 million or so at the box office, we'll make good money. And Disney will make lots of money. So, how did the movie do?
How did it do?
How did it do? On a budget of $30 million, it made $40 million
Whoa.
in its first 5 days.
That's very impressive.
By the end of the year, it had grossed $350 million worldwide. And as of 2020, it has grossed over $400 million.
Whoa.
That's just the first Toy Story. Just the first one.
That's big numbers.
That is very big number. But if you want big numbers, we're
We'll
getting to big numbers. Don't you worry. The film won a BAFTA, an MTV Movie Award, and a Kids' Choice Award. You know, the most prestigious.
Yeah.
It was also nominated for several Golden Globes and Oscars. And John Lasseter won a Special Achievement Oscar in 1996 for the development and inspired application of the techniques that have made possible the first feature-length computer animated film. The film placed 99th in the 500 greatest movies of all time, according to Empire magazine. Way too low, in my opinion.
Yeah.
99 films better than Toy Story. I
No, I think it's at least top 50.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Also, what's number 1 on that list?
Yeah, right?
I'll be Citizen
Citizen Kane.
Paddington 2.
Yeah, come on. Toy Story came fourth in a Channel 4 poll of the 100 greatest cartoons behind The Simpsons, Tom and Jerry, South Park. What do you think? Yeah, that was in 2005 as well, so, you know.
Oh, South Park wasn't that good in 2005.
It had fallen off a little bit. This one is a very sweet one. In 2008, during an STS-124, I don't know what that means, but, you know.
Numbers.
Astronauts took an action figure of Buzz Lightyear into space on a space shuttle Discovery as part of an educational experience for students. The action figure was used as experiments in zero gravity.
That's very cute because the same way that people become drummers because of Animal from the Muppets, there's going to be someone out there who's an astronaut because of Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Absolutely. But enough of that sentimental rubbish. I don't care about any of that. I'm here for cold, hard numbers.
Give me the money.
Oh, I will give you the money, right? This one is going to blow your mind.
Okay.
How much would you say, not looking at the number that's on the screen right now, which I hope you haven't.
I've saw the end of it. I didn't see the beginning of it.
How much money do you think that Toy Story has made in merchandising?
Given the fact that there are now several areas in Disneyland parks that are entirely Toy Story themed that have massive toy shops in them, like 1.5 billion?
$9 billion.
Whoa!
$9 billion since the release of the first movie.
I guess the thing that you do is make a film with toys in it, because then you want to buy all the toys. And children always need new toys.
Children do always need new toys.
And shoes, apparently.
Yeah. $9 billion. Though.
That's actually like...
So,
that's the GDP of like some countries, right?
Yeah, right. Like that's some high level stuff. But obviously,
Belgium makes less money than Toy Story. I don't know. Don't come at me. Don't tell me what the GDP of Belgium is. Don't care.
But yeah, so obviously Pixar and Disney would continue. But if you want to find out how that story goes on, you need to listen to our episode on Michael Eisner, because it's quite a big pivotal thing in his story as well of what happens.
Sure is. And it's a really good episode.
It's a really, really good episode.
You learn about gong time.
Yes. I will leave a description for it down below so that you can have a listen if you've not already listened to it. If you're already here and listening through, why not give us a follow on your podcast platform of choice, whether you're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever it is that you get your fine audio medium content. You can get us as well on the absolute wonderful Instagram, How to Be an Icon Pod. We post some fun things on there. And sign up to our Patreon. It's currently free. Patreon.com/How to Be an Icon. The link is in the description. You get access to all of our fun post shows and bonus content. But Donna, is Toy Story iconic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say.
I'm gonna say that yes.
I'm gonna say yeah.
I'm gonna say that I think that yes, being the first 3D animated feature film,
it is definitely
worthy of you being considered iconic.
It's absolutely groundbreaking in what it is, and I think the most impressive thing
is that Joss Whedon wrote most of it, and you enjoy it. He didn't write most of it, to be fair. He wrote it.
I was gonna say, let's not give this man more credit than he deserves, which is none. It's that it still looks good.
It does.
It still stands up to a modern viewing, in that some of these things don't always.
You know, you can tell that it's one of the smart things about it is that
it's so stylized and people don't really feature in it enough to...
Yeah, the people are
Dog's a bit rough.
Dog's a bit rough, and the people are a little iffy. But the thing of it is that they're going like, well, what can we make that has really good textures? Oh, plastic. We can make...
Everything looks plasticky, so we just make them all plastic.
Yeah. And like as the movies go on, you do get kind of more toys that have like different kind of materials and stuff made of them. But for the most part, in the first one, it's mostly plastic. Like they're mostly that kind of thing. Also, shout out to the rubber shark.
Oh, howdy. I also like the penguin in the second one.
Wheezy, yeah.
Because whenever I have a cold,
Yeah.
that's what you call me.
Yeah.
It ain't easy being wheezy.
It ain't easy being wheezy. But yeah, no, I think, I'm not blowing anyone's mind by saying that I do think that the first Toy Story is a masterpiece and is iconic.
Is groundbreaking.
Is absolutely groundbreaking. And the second one, really just as good. The third one, I think, is also really amazing because it's like, again, it's one of those, it's a film, it's one of the things I absolutely love in fiction because there's not that many examples of it. Wrestling and Resident Evil are the two.
And then Toy Story,
and then Toy Story are the only three that spring to mind of, it's grown up in real time. It's aged in real time. So it's been 10 years for the characters and it's been 10 years for us. And I think that always provides really interesting story opportunities to tell that I think is...
It makes you think outside the box because the time has passed, so you don't get to sit in what was. You have to move up to the what is.
Yeah, and that really hits you in this nostalgia feels.
Because you go, I'm an adult.
Yeah. Quentin Tarantino says that Toy Story is the best trilogy of films.
I don't disagree with him.
I think it's
a good argument.
It's a very good argument, and he says as well that he's like the third one is the most emotional and like what an incredible payoff to 20, 30 years at that point.
Yeah.
Toy Story 4, it exists.
It's a film.
It's a film. It's not a bad film. It doesn't need to exist.
I don't think I've seen most of it.
It's perfectly fine. I don't dislike it. I dislike what it represents.
That's fair.
I dislike everything around it. I think that, for a movie that exists, and it breaks that because it doesn't carry on the story of
keeping things in time.
Keeping things in time. Like it takes place 6 months after the third one ends, which is like, again, a relatively boring concept because I don't really care what Woody gets up to. It's not interesting.
Mm-hmm.
What's interesting is, it's happening again. Now what do I do? And I'm getting older.
Yeah.
That would have been, I think, the more interesting way to take it of like, the toys are not only is this happening again that they're not going to get played with, but they've been played with for,
30 years now.
30 plus years. I mean, Woody, it's like insinuated that he's even older.
Yeah.
So it's like, these toys are starting to break down. Like what's going to happen
like
there?
most toys don't last that long.
And most toys don't last forever. And I think that would have been a much more interesting story to tell. But, that wasn't the way they went because that doesn't make a lot of money. We need the characters to stay where they are and
kind of circle around a little bit because we can't get rid of them. They're too established.
And now we're getting Toy Story 5, which I'm not going to go see. I'm making the conscious decision to be like, no, I don't support this.
That's fair.
Because I think it would be a really good movie. I think it'll be a good Pixar movie because they always are. Mm-hmm. But I can't honestly sit there and go, I want to see more of this because I don't want to see more of it.
No, that's very true. And Pixar especially are bad for just sequel mining.
Yeah. And it's just like, no, I can't support this. Mm-hmm. It's one of the things that I think is like, I love Toy Story. I absolutely love it. But it's sort of like, it breaks my heart a little bit seeing the fifth one because I just go, who cares?
Yeah.
And this is the first time I've ever really felt that thing of like what Star Wars people feel to Star Wars.
Of like,
I just
come on.
I just have apathy towards it now. I don't.
Yeah, that's fair. And it's disappointing because it is something you love.
Yeah. Like I said, those first three films are absolutely perfect. And I saw the fourth one like first week pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't do that for this one. I just can't. Like it's not.
No, we're definitely in a space where we just don't know how or when to end stories.
No.
And this is a very good example of it. Of they made the three of them. That's that.
Yeah. What a perfect trilogy that is.
But we can't keep selling the same toys to younger children.
I'd argue that you can.
But you can. You just keep repackaging the films.
I think the other thing as well is like, I'm surprised they haven't done it. And I would go to the cinema to see if they not remade, but sort of what would be the thing of it of like
zhuzhed up. I know what you mean. I don't know the proper term for it. It's not remaster, not remake, just kind of like...
See, the current day engine that we have now to make Pixar movies on the original one to be like, look how far we've come. And like...
Yeah.
But then that comes into the argument of like, well, preservation, this, that, and the other. And I'd be like, well, as long as I can still see the original one.
And I don't trust Disney to...
That's where that kind of falls
And it goes in the Disney vault.
Yeah, that I couldn't be doing with. But like, I would love to see that first movie not remade with new characters, but just original dialogue, original audio.
Yeah. Interesting. No, I think it would be a very nice thing to see as like a special edition thing, but I just don't trust Disney as a company to not.
Yeah. Anyway, what would you say would be your lesson for Toy Story? And how to, Pixar comma general, I guess, would be the...
Get Steve Jobs to invest money.
That's what we're hoping for. I've tried calling him several times. He's not picking up. I don't know...
Why? He made all the phones.
That's what I mean.
Do they not all lead to him?
That's what I thought. Like, I've been shouting to Siri, like, call Steve Jobs, and they're like, can't help you with that. I don't know. Do you know any...
If you know Steve Jobs, tell him that we'd like some investments.
We'd like some investments, please. Or the high street retailer next as well would be.
We'd take that. We've been watching The Apprentice, so we've been learning a lot about business.
I would say that my lesson from Toy Story and Pixar comma general is really push it, because so many people are there like, this is not going to work. You're crazy. You're coming up with an idea, a 3D animated movie.
Could you imagine?
On a computer, editing? Get out of town. You can't be doing that. And I think the other thing as well is that your creative spirit will come through. They could have been sold to General Motors. They could have made...
Yeah, right.
They could have sold models of cars and boring things like that.
They could have gone to Hallmark.
Yeah, they, made
Sorry for your loss.
Yeah, in 3D. Do you know what, though? We would have
Sorry for your loss in 3D is my favorite, like, fake VHS cover.
That's like one of the, like, fake... productions at the end of The Producers,
yes.
like Death of a Salesman on Ice. Like, sorry for your loss in 3D.
Yeah.
But I think, the creativity will always come through.
Especially if that's what's actually driving
If that's what's actually driving you, which it clearly was for the team at Pixar. They had the dream that they wanted to make the first animated 3D film, and they saw it through. And it's,
They've made such an indelible mark on animation and filmmaking in general.
Yeah, it's like I say, it's one of the most influential films of all time. So I think that would be my lesson for that. Oh, well, what a wonderful episode this has been. Thank you very much for joining us. And like I say, if you haven't already, give us a follow on your podcast platform of choice. Leave us a comment down below. What's your favorite animated film? I would probably go with it. It is Toy Story. But as a child, I loved The Emperor's New Groove. That was a real...
That's a great film and didn't have a script because it was an absolute mess trying to make it.
Yeah, we one day might do an episode on that.
Which is fun. Mine's Howl's Moving Castle.
Oh, yeah, that's...
I have a tattoo of it, don't I?
You do. You also got Beaker. Not animated, though. He's a real...
He's a real scientist with many degrees.
Yeah, you should listen to our episode on Beaker.
Met Steve Jobs.
I would imagine so. Probably worked for him for a little bit, I would have thought.
They look similar.
Do they?
They've got glasses.
No, Honeydew's got glasses.
Oh,
Beaker doesn't have glasses.
They just look a bit, like, thin.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. We'll have a new episode next week. I've been Jared Jones. Thank you, Donna Cameron.
Thank you so much for having me.
And... falling with style, technically. No, that wasn't the line. We're flying.
Technically.
We're driving. Technically. That was originally the closing line for our show, and then you came out with...
drive home safe. In style. Y'all.
Nailed it.
You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me.